Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Two of Wands. Very nice. That is a very strong way to begin a reading. Now, we are going to put that into some context. We have this first card that jumped out of the deck. Now, I'm wondering, maybe we should wait a little while before we reveal that card, okay? But we'll put down these other cards. A lot of interesting stuff already. Oh, yeah. Okay, I like this. I like this World or Universe card with this Four of Pentacles here. There's a lot of growth going on, right? I think there's a lot of changes that are taking place. I think these are a lot of energetic changes. I think that a lot is going on that is about your reaction to what's going on around you, right? Well, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one card randomly from Smith-Waite. Horse on top, that is Mr. Ed over there, and we're not going to look at that card until the very end, okay? And hopefully it will tie everything together. Give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have, first off, anyway, we have major, major. We've got fire, fire. We've got a little bit of water, a little bit of air, and we have this earth energy. I want to see what this kind of mysterious hidden card was. Oh, speaking of mysterious, it's the High Priestess. The High Priestess. Another card, this card too kind of indicates that there is a lot of change coming, right? Things are fluctuating. Maybe you feel like you're in the middle of just a bunch of change, like in the middle of this flux. Yeah. I feel like you've had, more so recently, a lot of kind of strange, almost psychic experiences, maybe a lot of paranormal kind of experiences. Something not completely explainable by the laws of cause and effect and that sort of thing. Just some happenings that you would probably consider strange, or that other people maybe would consider strange. Maybe you feel that they're actually quite normal. I think they are as well. I think we're all capable of perceiving a reality beyond the world of the senses that we can see and hear and taste and touch and smell. But many of us have created too much of a buffer, right, between that world and this one, okay? But I think it's absolutely normal. I think you've been having an increase of this kind of activity lately, last few months or something. And I think it's an indication to you that really big things are in the works, that a lot of things are changing. Just these little experiences, signs, symbols, synchronicities, these kinds of psychic events or paranormal events, whatever you want to call them, these spiritual messages, I think are telling you that there's a lot that is in process in your life, right? That where you are now is not the final stage of things. Okay. And let's talk about what that might mean, because in the recent past here, we've got this Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, I think, is a situation where you have been giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, right? And giving and giving. This is a very generous energy. This is a Ten of Wands. It's our fire energy, our vitality, right? Our generosity, our will, our creativity, our fire, our flame. That is being expressed to the extreme, but not in a way that is connected with our cause, our source, our, purpose. I feel like you're giving this energy out, but I don't know that we feel the connection, right? So it leads me to believe that you're either in a situation at home or at work, maybe with family, where you are having to expend all of your energy, but it's not for your own life's purpose, right? Or let's rephrase that. Maybe it is part of your life's purpose, but it's very outgoing energy. Nothing's coming back in, right? That's not quite true either, yeah? Because look at this Nine of Cups up here. So I feel like you're expending a lot of energy. Maybe you're taking care of someone else. Maybe you are covering in a department. Maybe you have a lot of responsibility on your plate. It feels as if you are giving and giving and giving. You are, in a sense, getting satisfaction from this work. But I don't know that while you're in the middle of it, you feel that this is your purpose, that you are connected with Source, that you are, kind of meant to be doing this. Does that make sense? We get so busy with life, right? We get so busy with all of our responsibilities, and the Ten of Wands has a lot of responsibilities. It feels like a heavy, heavy burden, right? It feels as if we are just working and toiling every day, day in, day out, morning, noon, and night. But we're either not fulfilling our purpose, we're not feeling satisfied from this work, or we feel like we are not doing our will, that we're doing it for someone else, that we are expending all of this energy in a way that doesn't quite feel right. Yeah. But see, the Ten of Wands here doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking care of somebody or anything like this, but whatever you're doing, I think, is really exhausting you. Yeah. But there is a benefit in that as well. There's the unseen, the internal kind of benefit of putting all of your effort into something, even if it feels like you're not doing it for yourself, this isn't part of your life path. It is, but in a very subtle way. Not in an obvious, you're doing something that's leading to your future, and A, and then B, and then C. So I feel like this is something else. You're taking care of a family member, you're taking care of some property, you have to do this big thing at work that's not really part of... Something is eating up all of your time and all of your vitality. But there's a hidden benefit to that, and that is the internal strength that you are accumulating, right? You may feel you have no strength left in your physical body externally, but I think inside you're really fortifying yourself. You're strengthening your willpower, right? You're building up this inner strength through the expenditure of your physical strength. That's another fluctuation that we understand through this High Priestess energy. And that, I think, is why we have this too. I think the phase that's coming next for you, I think in the next few days, we're going to see this situation really transform into one where you are now going to perhaps be free of this situation, relatively free. Maybe that project is over, that phase of things is over, that stage is completed, and you can now decide where your life is going. Where is all of this energy going to go now, right? We've exhausted all of our vital energy here. But when this demand is no longer there, now we have to figure out what to do with it, right? Where are we going to put all this effort? So I think that there are big things in the works for you. And I think this is all part of the message of the High Priestess. And I think this is why you've been seeing a lot of signs and synchronicities, a lot of these strange omens lately, to indicate that this is kind of on its way. This is phasing out, whatever this work is, this project, this, I don't want to call it a burden, right? Because it might be, taking care of something that you have a strong connection with, but it's kind of it's almost a side quest from your life path, right? Which, again, it's kind of the paradox, because that is part of your life path. It may feel like it's a temporary pause, or you have to refocus your efforts over here before you can get back to your work. Well, pretty soon we're going to be getting back to our work, okay? And there's going to be this swelling of creative force in you. Where are we going to put it? What are we doing with that? Okay, this is going to be a big decision for you to make. Where to go next. Maybe this was a contract. Maybe you were under a contract and have to kind of fulfill it, right? Well, that's coming to a close. Now what do we do? Right? What are we going to work on now? We aren't just going to idle, right? So the Two of Wands here is about taking everything that we've learned in this previous situation. Maybe this was this maybe was a job, you were overworked. Maybe this is coming to a close, and now we can really try to intuit the next path for us, right? Major life changes. This was a heavy, heavy energy, right? A Ten of Wands, to be free of that is a major, major life change, okay? It could be the change of a job. It could be a family situation that is, finally coming to a close. It could be a personal situation, otherwise, whatever it might be. Right? I think it's going to resonate, obviously, differently for different people. But the takeaway here is, what comes next? What are we transitioning into? Right? Well, Two of Wands says, you have to make that decision. This is your life. We have to step into that ownership and that responsibility now to start our new path, or the next phase, the next leg of our journey. Yeah. So we're taking everything that we've learned in that past situation, which, again, when you were in that, it may have felt like this is just a lot of work. It's just a huge amount of time and energy put into this. You may not have seen the connection in this. You may not have really felt, this water energy that we're aspiring to. You may not have felt so happy here, right? But there was a hidden benefit. Maybe you learned new skills. You certainly learned the limits of your kind of physical and mental energy, your vital energy, right? I think you pushed yourself here. So we've learned a lot. And now it's time to take that skill, that knowledge, that learning, and move forward. This is a big transition here. Okay, very big transition. And I can see what you're aspiring to when we look at the Nine of Cups. You really want this life you don't necessarily want an easy life or just a life of leisure or pleasure. You want a life that is fulfilling. You want to see the significance in what you're doing, and I think that's something that you need to appreciate with whatever this work was. Even though it may not have felt like it was, your life's purpose, you have to try to see the significance and the importance of what you were doing. There's a lot to learn from this situation. Okay, so learn everything you can from this experience, before, during, and after that experience. Learn as much as you can about that. Try to see that it was just maybe one part of your overall life path, and that there was a lot of meaning and significance, even if you were doing work for someone else or taking care of something else, or you had to put your life on hold sort of to do this other thing. Well, life doesn't go on hold, right? We can't slow down time, really. We can try. There are ways, but generally speaking, and we have the death card here too, I think you're realizing that life is what happens when we're busy, like making other plans or thinking about how we'd rather be anywhere else than here. So it was part of your life plan. It was part of your path, right? It's just the question of, do we appreciate it for what it was and what we gained from it? and what we were able to offer to whoever or whatever we were doing. But what you really aspire to, the reason why the Nine of Cups is at the top of the path of the dove, is because you're ready now. You're ready to put an end to whatever this work was, and I think this is wrapping up. I don't think you're abandoning it. I think you stuck it out, you committed to it, and it's coming to a close now, right? Coming to a close. And you're ready now to follow your bliss, to follow your life path, to pursue your happiness. I love the Nine of Cups. This has got to be the most just joyous card. This is the most satisfied card. I know a lot of people think it's the Ten of Cups. But the Ten of Cups is like you're at the buffet and you got really, really full and you just feel kind of sick and you just want to leave, right? This card is you at the buffet, right? And I always use this analogy with the buffet, right? I love buffets. Especially where I live, there are a lot of buffets around here. This is being at the buffet, still being hungry enough to keep enjoying what's around you, right? I'm not so full yet that I just want to leave, right? And of course, I'm not talking about food necessarily. I mean, maybe that's part of it, but the idea that we have to stay a little bit hungry, you know? We have to stay a little bit, Nine of Cups rather than 10. There has to be something left to strive for. I want to still enjoy this experience, and I want to enjoy whatever I'm doing, if it's a buffet, if it's the work that I do, if it's the creative thing. This is the creative process. This is the joyous feeling we get when we're doing our work. Not the feeling of, it's kind of a mixed blessing when we're done with our work. I'm done. Well, it has a different kind of feeling. You want that feeling of being in the mix, of being in that joy and that bliss and feeling it, going through you and around you. That's a really satisfying energy, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, creatively, right? The entire package here. So that's what you want. That's the kind of life that you want, right? I don't think that you're looking for just a static picture. You don't want to just have all of your desires filled. I want everything that I want, and I just want things to be settled. No, you like the process of going out and producing it and getting it, doing the work, having the experiences, more than the end kind of product of it, right? So I feel like this is what we aspire to. And this, I think, is where our life is headed now. We're being given the opportunity to go from what was feeling like we were just in this intense fire. Now, of course, this intense fire fortifies you internally. It may be a huge weight. This is like going to the gym and lifting as much weight as you possibly could. You're there all day long and you just can't move your muscle. They got to wheel you out of there. There is something to that. There is something that it changes within us, right? And I think what it does is produces this kind of Two of Wands, right? We kind of, through this external activity, we are fortifying, we are solidifying a Two of Wands within us, and this is our ability to own our life, to take responsibility, to know that you can move mountains if you need to. Well, here's the mountain, three of Pentacles down beneath everything. This again reinforces the idea that we want to continually do the work that we feel connected to. That is our life path. It could be that you were on a certain career trajectory, you had to turn aside, take care of this Ten of Wands stuff. Now it's time for you to get back to business. Yeah, get back to business. So a big life change where we're getting back to this work that we fundamentally, this is beneath the surface. This is the life that you want to be leading. It's when you have all of these, it's like you're firing on all 3 cylinders here, right? You're keeping your life busy. You have a lot of plates spinning. There's a lot going on for you, and that's what gives you this tremendous, multi-level satisfaction and happiness. See, we have a 3 of Pentacles, and then we've got the 3, 3, 3 of Cups here. So this really is the work that you're doing. This is your personal life, your professional life, your spiritual life. Everything is in harmony here. Everything is functioning like this machine. I like to think of the 3 of Discs as one of those drones, with the fans underneath. And it's such that all 3 of these fans have to be spinning in harmony for you to really rise, for us to rise into that 9 of Cups, essentially. You've got to have all of these fans spinning, and that's your physical life, your professional, your personal life, and your spiritual life, right? Those are the fans. They all have to be spinning in harmony for you to rise into this happiness, for you to really ascend into this, this satisfying 9 of Cups. So this is really what you aspire to. And I think this is a big life change. Now, we could look at this in terms of, the 10 of Wands is really not specific right now, right? I thought maybe this was taking care of, a family member that kind of took you off your central life path. But this could be anything like finishing your apprenticeship, finishing your education, anything that took all of your time and energy. But once it's over, now we can get to our real life path. This is the vertical axis of the path of the dove. This is really what we aspire to. This is how we're going to rise. And this is the kind of life that happens while we are aspiring vertically. The crosswind, kind of. So now that this is over, we can focus on our real life's work, right? And of course, I think this was part of it. This was a necessary part. Again, I don't know. Now I'm starting to think maybe it was sort of an apprenticeship. Or maybe this was, because there is 2 central wands there in the front. So it was something that was connecting you with another person in some way. But now I think that responsibility is over. We can begin our life path, whatever that means to you, right? The next is this 5, the 5 of Swords. This is in tomorrow's energy. And this really is, I think, a major development of this High Priestess card. Because I said at the beginning that maybe you've always had this kind of psychic sensitivity, but more so recently. And I think what that is leading to, the more this starts to happen and you start to feel these messages, these signs and symbols and synchronicities, these supernatural events or whatever, the more it's leading you to trust in that, right? The more you're convinced that you need to follow that divine energy, right? Let Spirit take the wheel, right? We're putting Spirit back on top, and that is a 5 of Swords. Usually this card comes out, with the point down, which is this idea that we are being defeated, that we are not following Spirit, and we are suffering because of that, right? That we are in this kind of mental anguish. We feel like we're being defeated, right? But if we put Spirit back on top, if we let Spirit take the wheel, if you follow the messages from the world around you, the omens, the synchronicities, these supernatural events, if you heed what they're saying to you, then I think you will always be led in the right direction. Yeah. And this, again, is kind of a way of us going back and appreciating this situation and whatever this was, and how it helped us to develop this inner strength so that we can pursue our life's path and we can devote ourselves even more to this spiritual understanding, these divine messages. Okay. Now, I know we're getting kind of long in the video. I'll try to hurry up. We have this death energy now as your general energy. And This, I think, is your continued awareness, your increasing understanding of this greater life path that you're on. About how even something like a Ten of Wands, even if it seemed like it was a distraction from your life path, right, from your main work, even if it seems like it was not a waste of time, but that it just took all of your time away from your real life's work. This is the awareness that it was part of your life's work, that everything you go through, your life doesn't just pause. You didn't put your life on hold to go do this Ten of Wands thing. It was part of your life. It still is, and it will always be. But this is a big change, right? And this might be a change that was kind of slow. Maybe that Ten of Wands situation lasted for a long time. Maybe it was a while. But we're beginning to see now how that was such a necessary period of time for you, because it's leading into such amazing things now. It's transformed your entire being. You're not the same person you were when you first started this work over here, right? So we have to appreciate the change, the overall, the long-term kind of transformation, as slow as it is. See, death is not in a rush. Evolution, change, this kind of transformation, there's no hurry here, right? This can take its time. It's going to get to everybody. Don't worry, right? So that's the Death card. Now, in the environment, we do see the Seven of Swords, and TT, the hairless cat, is here to confirm some of this for us. She has her own opinions. The Seven of Swords, I think, is the way we've been looking at the environment previously. Now, maybe I should have taken these cards out of order, because with the Seven of Wands, I feel like we're kind of still back over here where we're not really understanding the benefit of this. We're not really accepting the reason why this had to be such a burden, really. Right? Because this took all of our energy, all of our time, all of our focus and attention, and we have been looking at it like it was a distraction, like it was a deviation from our life's work, right? From what we really should be doing. But here with the Five and through the High Priestess, we're starting to understand the importance of this. And so this now we're realizing that it is all part of our central sword here, the Ace of Swords there in the middle. We're realizing that this is but a necessary phase, leg of the journey kind of thing, right? So this is important. Now, the final two cards, these are pretty straightforward. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Universe or the World. These are almost opposite cards. The Four of Pentacles is a nice, stable structure in life, but it is limiting. It's restricting, right? This is solidity. There's four. It's stable, impenetrable. What we were talking about with the Nine of Cups is that you don't really want that. You don't want a finished product, finished product or project. It's like you don't really, you know that you need a house, right? And you know that you're going to have one. You have to have one, and you're going to enjoy it. But what you really love is not the finished house. You like the building of it. You like the excitement and the satisfaction you get of building this thing, right? But it's almost as if once you build it, well, now you need to go off and do something else, right? You don't want to be limited by this. Again, it's this idea of the Ten of Cups. Once you eat your fill, once you get everything you want, then what, right? So we contrast that with this Universe or World card, and this is no limit here. This is kind of the card that says, yeah, we're moving on from this phase of our journey. We're going to really begin our life's work. We're going to be trusting in spirit, trusting in this process, and we're going to welcome stability into our lives. We're going to welcome in the routine and the structure of what we're doing here. See, we're done with that. We've incorporated this, and we've incorporated this. We're done with the doubting. So we're going to accept that we're creating stability in our lives, but we're also remembering that we are not limited right? That we can continue on. And this, I think, is a major shift for you, because I feel like maybe in this, you almost had this feeling like it was never going to end, right? This seems like it was kind of just going on and on and on. And that, I think, goes against really what you're aspiring to, see? And therein lies a little bit of a paradox, right? Because what we're saying is you enjoy the work, but you also don't want to feel like you're kind of trapped. It's almost as if this 4 was right there with that 10 of Wands, and you were kind of just locked in this tower kind of thing, right? So it may be an ongoing thing that you thought would never end, but it's not the kind of ongoing work that we were talking about, right? This is restricting, whereas this is a constant flow of this water energy into everything that you do without limit, right? So you don't want to be restricted by any situation. I think this is a big thing that we're seeing. Let's look at the mystery card now. Thank you, Mr. Ed, and thank you, TT, for your help today. The only thing that I am feeling now, because I said that this kind of was like a tower, right? That this was, we're doing this work and we feel almost stuck. We're kind of imprisoned in this 10 of Wands, and we want it to end so that we can get on with our real life, right? So that we can follow the signs of the universe and live and work and pursue our happiness, not being imprisoned in this kind of thing, but at the same time, understanding that this is a necessary phase for you, okay? But I think it's time to end, and I think that the next few days we're going to see some major changes. I bet you this is going to be the Tower card. Because what do we have here but the recipe for a Tower card, right? All of this fire in this contained structure. I feel like major changes, and maybe it is something where you have to be the one to assert your will and end that situation. Maybe it would go on forever and ever and ever unless you put your foot down, right? Unless you say there's an end date to it. Bet you this is the Tower. Yeah, it's the Tower. So I feel like this, is maybe something that we need to follow the signs around us, High Priestess energy, and know when to end this situation, right? We have to at least put our foot down, set a firm end date, and stick to it, because you've got other things that you need to get a move on with. And with the 10 of Wands, it's energy that has kind of run its course. I feel like you've learned everything that you could from that. So it's time now to assert yourself and move on to whatever is coming next for you. Okay. Anyway, what's coming next for us is the extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link either above or below in the description box. New readings come out every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you.